Hello, my name is Jessica, and today we're going to do a bit of an introduction to a computer program called Scratch. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to get to the Scratch website. So you just type in Scratch in your search bar, and it's the first thing that comes up. It's from MIT, scratch.mit.edu. And one of the great things about Scratch is you don't actually have to make an account to use it. You can certainly make an account if you want to, but if you're just using it for C3, you don't have to. So to start a new project, you go up to the top and then you click on Create. And then that'll take you to the Scratch homepage. If you're just starting out on Scratch, there is tutorials. They can be helpful. You can watch them if you want. For the sake of this, we're just going to close them. So there's kind of three sections to the Scratch homepage. The section on the very left is for all of your blocks for programming, and you'll notice that they have different colors. There's some for motion, some for looks, sounds, events, etc. There's also a tab called Costumes, where as you can see, you can change what your character looks like by going onto this tab. There's also a tab for sounds where you can add sounds if you want, so your character can make sounds. So this giant white space over here is where you actually write your program. So you're taking blocks from the left and putting them in. That area over there is where you'll see your program run, and then the last area is down at the bottom. There's an area for your characters. That's where they'll all appear. And there's also an area for the backdrop, which you can program as well. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to create a new character. So to create a new character, first we're going to get rid of the old character. You can just click the trash bin. And now we're going to make a new character. So to make a new character, you click on the little cat icon, you hover over it, and then you're going to move your cursor directly up to the paintbrush and click. And this will take you to a drawing pad where you can draw your own character. You have some options to change the color that you're drawing with. We're going to draw in purple today, and you have some options to change the tool that you're drawing with. So right now we have the select tool, so if I click and drag, it makes like a box. It's not very helpful right now, so we're going to draw. So you click on the paintbrush, and then you can just click and drag, and it will draw a nice line for you. We're just going to draw a stick figure man because I'm not very artistic. And if you want to fill in certain areas, you can click on the paintbrush to color something in. And as you can see, when I hover over it, it gives like a little teaser of what it'll look like. And if you actually click, it'll just fill in that area. If you realize you made a mistake and you didn't want to fill it in, there's an eraser, and you just take it and then you click and drag to erase what you didn't want to fill in. And I'm just going to finish drawing this guy's head back on now. And there we go. And what you can also do is, if you don't like the format, you can click on the bottom button to change it from vector to bitmap. It doesn't make much of a difference. It's just however many pixels there are. And then when you're all done drawing your character, it saves automatically, so you don't need to worry about saving it or anything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new costume. So we're going to make our character look a little different, and we're going to change from a man into a woman because why not? So you click on the cat on the left, and then you go up to the paintbrush again and you click there. And now you're back at that same drawing pad, and you can draw a new character just the same as you were doing before. So this time we're going to draw a woman character. And we're all done drawing our character. So now that we're all done drawing, we are going to leave the costumes tab and go back to the code tab. And you can do that just by clicking up in the top left. And now we're going to create a little simple program. So in this program, what we want to do is we want to take the blocks on the left and move them into that blank space in the middle. In this program, what we want to do is we want to start out with a man in the middle of the page, have him turn into a woman, have the woman move to a random spot on the page, turn back into a man, and then have the man say hi. So, sounds a little complicated, but I will take you through the program step by step. So the first thing we want to do is determine when the program is going to start. And to do that, we go over and we click on events, and then we click on the when flag clicked, and we just drag and drop it into that programming space. And it's really important that you drag in that block. That's the easiest way to start a program, and the green flag is just on the right above the stage, and it just lets you know when your program is going to run. So the next thing we want to do is we want to start with our character as a man. So we're going to go into looks, and then we're going to click on the block that says switch costume to, drag it over, and as you can see, it kind of highlights and snaps into place like a nice puzzle. And because the man was costume 1, the first thing we drew, we're just going to change it to costume 1. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have the man start in the middle of the page. And anything with position is under motions. So we are going to go into motion, and then we're going to find the block that says go to X blank, Y blank. And you can fill that in yourself. We're just going to set it as 0, 0. And just for a brief overview of the cardinal directions, anything going up is positive Y. Anything going to the right is positive X. Anything going down is negative Y, and anything going to the left is negative X. And 0, 0 is just smack dab in the middle. So then we're going to go under controls and take out a block that says wait 1 second. And we do this just so you have a chance to actually see and process everything that's happening as we run our program, and it isn't just like a flashing blob of a whole bunch of things happening at once. So this wait 1 second block is actually really important. Next, we're going to have the character transform into a woman. So we're going to just take the switch costume block again, check that it's set at costume 2, which is our woman block. Then, once again, we're just going to have it wait a second so that we actually have time to see and process it do this. Then we're going to have the woman move to a random spot on the page. And you guessed it, if we're moving, we're going to go back to motion blocks. And we are going to grab the block that says glide for 1 second to a random position. And something I would like to go over is the difference between glide and move blocks. Personally, I like the glide blocks better because gliding is a lot smoother of a movement. You can see the person go from point A to point B. You can see their entire journey. For move, it's more like a jumping motion. They just jump over there. It's a little disjointed. I don't really like it, so I recommend glide. Next, we're going to have it wait 1 second again just so you can see it do this. And then we're going to have it transform back into a man. So to do that, we're just going to go back to looks. We're going to take switch costume. We're going to switch the costume back to the man costume. And then you guessed it, we're going to wait another second so you can watch this happen. And the next thing we're going to get it to do is we're going to get the man to say hi. So that block is also under looks. So this is our entire program, and we're just going to run it. Okay, so as you can see, we've ended pretty far from center. So just to run it again, if I click the green flag again, the man will go back to center, turn into a woman, move to a random spot on the page, turn back into a man, and say hi. And that's the program. And now just one more thing to go over is changing the appearance of the backdrop if you want a more colorful backdrop. So to do that, you click on it, and then instead of the costumes tab, there's something called a backdrops tab that you can click on. And that's just right next to the code tab, and where the cat was before for a new costume, you can put your cursor over it and then click choose backdrop if you don't want to draw your own. Then there's a whole bunch that you can choose from. I'm going to have them be in a castle while they're doing this, and then the new backdrop just appears. And if you go back to code, you'll notice that this space is now empty and the code from the man-woman character isn't there. However, if you click back on the character, the code pops up, so your code is saved, and that's just a way to differentiate between programming the character and programming the background if you ever want to program the background. So we're just going to run the program one more time. As you can see, the program runs the exact same way as it did before, but now they're having all this fun in a castle instead of just on a blank screen. Thank you for watching, and that's a little bit about Scratch.